Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I am just so excited because I have Miss Charlotte Miller-Lacy, and she is the founder and a national executive director of I Am My Sister's Keeper. I can't wait till you hear about the organization and why she started it. But Miss Lacy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This is such an honor. I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited, and then I was a little nervous. I'm like, Janet got me on to talk on her show. My goodness, I am so honored. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for saying yes. So I want to start the conversation with kind of a couple questions which kind of lead into each other. One, I want you to share with those watching and listening what is I Am My Sister Keeper, but also what made you decide to start it?
Okay, so I Am My Sister's Keeper is a mentoring program. And we say mentoring program, but it's a rites of passage program for young girls ages 6 to 24. The reason why I say 6 to 24 is that we're in our 10th year, Janet, and we have young ladies who have graduated out of the program. They're either now in college. We have some who finished college, also did their 4 years of college. We have some who are mothers now. But the return on investment, Janet, is that they're coming back. They're coming back to be a part of the program, meaning I Am My Sister's Keeper. They are giving back. And I'm going to tell you, it just fills my heart. One of the young ladies, her daughter just turned 6, and she's a part of the program now. So just
Wow.
imagine, she was one of the first MSK girls. And we always say, once an MSK girl, always an MSK girl. Now to see another generation that who were the girls originally started, I'm telling you, it's like, okay, Lord, okay.
That's
So I'm
amazing. I
excited
mean,
about that.
that's
And the
amazing. That's
reason
like,
why I started I Am My Sister's Keeper, actually, I worked in alternative placement in Delaware, and that's where youth are put out of their comprehensive school and sent to alternative placement to, quote, get it right till they're able to go back to their comprehensive school. So I was the director of student services. But even before that, Janet, I had another program, and it was called My Sister, My Friend, I Celebrate You. And it was for women 25 and older. And what I found, Janet, was even though these ladies were mothers, they were wives, they were professional women, they didn't know their why. They didn't know their purpose. They were just kind of moving along. And I said, I don't want another generation to feel like this. One of the things that we looked at as parents is one of our sons and my nephew. When they were about 6 or 7, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. And we kind of nurtured that and pushed them. And now they're in their early 20s and they are thriving. I mean, thriving in things that they love to do that you wouldn't even have to pay them, but they get paid to do it. And that's what I look at. I didn't have that when I was younger. I did have the circle of my grandmother and, all of my aunts. My grandmother was the oldest of 12, and she had like 8 sisters and whatnot, and they always would get together. So I was a part of that, where they spoke life into us. They spoke truth. They helped us figure out who we were, and that was through exposure and opportunities. And what I found, a lot of the young girls did not have that. And I kind of centered on girls. It was the boys too. But I started it in alternative placement because these young girls would go back to school and then return. And I'm like, wait a minute. There has to be something here that they're missing, that's missing in school, that's missing in their life. What could it be? And it was something that I felt I had that was a part of me that I wanted to give to them. And that was building that sisterhood. So the one thing
mhm.
I did, Janet, I invited them to lunch. It was 5 girls. And when they walked into the conference room, one of the girls closed the door back. She said, "Oh, Miss Lacy, there's a big meeting going on in there. This is not for us." I said, "No, sweetheart, this is for you. This is what I do for people who are special to me. And you're special. I want to hear what you have to say." We went in, there was dishes, silverware, there were glasses, there was flowers, there was music playing, it was smelling good, all of that. And they were just so like You did this for me? You did this for us? I'm like, yes, you're important to me. And I think that's what was missing. Them feeling heard, seen, and important. So we had a conversation. And what I said to them was, well, she said this about me and I'm not that. And this, I said, well, it's triggering you. So it's something. Either you are that or you're acting like that, but you can change that. If something's triggering you, I said, you're allowing people to tell you who you are. And that's like moving you around like a chess piece. I said, once you know who you are, nobody can just move you any old kind of way. There's strategic things in this stuff. So we started working with those 5 girls from alternative placement. Janet, they went back to their comprehensive school. They stayed in, they graduated, they started talking about the program. The
Mm,
administrators would call and say, Miss Lacy, what are you guys doing other than alternative placement? And I told them about the program. Other girls started coming who were not even in alternative placement. And we started our Wilmington chapter. That
mm,
was how we originally started. We didn't have any money. So, of course, I had to go with what I knew. So I was
mm-hmm,
working again in alternative placement. So I went to the director and I said, hey, I want to do this program. Would you support us at $1,000 a year to start this program? He said, I'll do one better. He said, Miss Lacy, I know you and I know how you feel about these young ladies and I know your work ethic. I'm going to do $5,000
mm.
a year. And we started I Am My Sister's Keeper with that. And again, like I said, that was 10 years ago. I retired in 2022 from the Parkway Academy is what it was called. They still support I Am My Sister's Keeper. We now have a chapter in Chester, PA. We have a chapter in Dover, Delaware. We have a chapter in Milford, Delaware. We had chapters in Atlanta, Fort Worth, Texas, and Clinton, Maryland. But during the pandemic, they didn't fare well because they had just actually started, but we're still
Okay.
incorporated. So if I have anybody in those states that want to start a chapter, just reach out to me and we can get it back up and running. But we have inquiries all over, Janet. We will in 2025 start a chapter in Philadelphia. So I'm real excited about that.
Well,
You
I'm
have
real
to stop
excited
me.
about that.
When I get excited about I Am My Sister's Keeper, because I see what it does. I see proof positive of how it has helped to change the trajectory of young girls' lives and even their mothers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
mean, and as you were talking and just the impact you did just from that little meeting in the conference room, it took me way back, Miss Lacey. I mean, I'm talking way back when I was a little girl. I always remember I got dressed up and I still remember it was a little yellow dress.
Mhm.
And my parents took me to some restaurant and it was like one of them little booths with the cushioned seats and everything. And I remember that. And it was like that got me started on just what I can expect in life. And I
Mhm.
think that's what you do. It's like, yes, I understand this is your situation, but these are some of the things that you can expect in life. And just
True.
because you here doesn't mean you can't be there. And I just see all the things that you are doing to these young girls. And it's like, yes, yes, and yes. Because you're right. Not everybody has that nurturing mentor. And even at the age of 60, I have a mentor who's 80. And well, we were doing every couple of weeks, but now we're doing like every week we talk on the phone. And I love it.
Okay.
And what you're doing is feeding, and you're just feeding into those young girls. And as you said, you're already on the second generation now. And it's only been
This
10 years.
It's exciting. It's exciting. But Janet, when you say you have mentors, I still have a mentor. The one thing I love about Michelle Obama when she said, "I'm still becoming," I'm 66. I'm still becoming. I'm still
Yeah.
growing into
Yeah.
the woman God wants me to be. And I have
Hmm.
mentors who are older and I have mentors who are younger. We have a new
Hmm.
age now. We have people, young people that are doing dynamic things. We can learn from them. Anytime you feel like you can't learn from someone somewhere, I think you lose something.
And you're so
And
true. It's so
I learn
true.
from the girls. I learn from them. I'm like, Miss Lacey's learning from you. With things. So because they've experienced some things, Janet, I've never experienced. But we're able to
And
talk about it We're able to talk through it. We're able to talk on the other side of it and find things to help you move on. So it's a round circle. It continues to move.
And I think because you're meeting so many different needs. I mean, I know you have the reading space, but
Yes.
then also you have a space for girls and I think the young men also if they need things. And these are things sometimes we just take for granted. We got deodorant, personal care items, but they could just go in there and just get what they need. And then you
True.
also teach them so many different skills just to expose them to things.
True.
I know I saw they were cooking and I saw they did the wigs. And I mean, I think that's good because sometimes those moments can trigger something like, "Oh, this is a possibility." So,
Hmm.
yeah, so even though, you think you just posted stuff out there, but it's a lot of us
You're
just
looking at.
looking at what we're looking at what you're doing. And I truly, truly commend you. So this is a question that I ask all of my guests because Miss Lacy, you, of course, the founder, the national executive director, you are very active otherwise in the community. You a mother, you a wife, you a you a grandmother, and
Yes.
so how do you stay organized? And one of the things I love is you just took time off. You just went
Mm.
and you just had a good time on a cruise. Yes, I saw
Yes,
those
ma'am.
pictures too, just like Michelle Washington did. I saw those pictures. I said, look at Miss Lacey over there. She's just dancing. But how do you stay organized, whether it's managing your time or just your life, just to kind of make sure you have your hand on some things? Because I know your children, but your grandchildren and your spouse, and how do you do it?
Make space for me. Being intentional. You
Mm,
have to be intentional, Janet. With this whole process, I was intentional about what I wanted this program to look like. So to be there, and you have to write it down. You have to write it. You have to schedule it. And I had to schedule in me. I had to schedule in me. And I had to be intentional and I had to be committed to me because you can lose you with all of those different things that are happening and everything that you're trying to do for everyone, you can lose you. But the biggest part is scheduling you in and that self-care time. That is real. But self-care sometimes people say, well, I'm gonna get my nails done, I'm gonna get this, but it's full rounded, Janet. It's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's emotional. I was telling someone not too long ago, and I got sick. And I think it was a time that I was doing those things, but I would let things jump in. I said, okay, well, I won't do this. I'll sacrifice me. And it took me really getting sick. And then I got sick, but they couldn't find anything. And I'm like, well, what is wrong with me? The biggest part was I got laryngitis where I couldn't talk. Well, I'm always talking, right? So I got laryngitis. I couldn't talk, but I was sick. I knew something was wrong. Everything came back negative. You know what that told me? I needed to rest and I needed to take that time for me and I needed to take that prayer time. And
mm.
since then, Janet, I'm gonna tell you, I talked about this. I don't know, I'm trying to think in years where I have felt aligned physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It feels so good. It feels so good. I wish this was something that I can take and bottle up and give to people because even when things are happening, I can reflect. It's like I'm aligned with this. And I'm like, God, did you do that for a reason? I don't know what it is yet, but it's for me to go to another level. And I needed all of that to be able to do that. And I feel great. Like I feel great.
And I think it's important because, like you said, you needed it, but also just because I see what you're doing, the impact and the need. So you need the strength to be able to begin to delegate because, I mean, of course, you're coming to Philly, but
Mm-hmm.
then who knows where else you're going to be. And then you may be to the place where, yes, you are based in Delaware, but then you're just going to have to kind of go and just travel and oversee, do a ribbon cutting there one week, a ribbon cutting there another week.
Come on, Jen. It's speaking into existence. All right.
you know,
I
I
accept
mean,
it.
because the need and the impact, and like you said, some of these it's like the parents also need it as well.
Exactly.
It's not just the girls, but then the parents are seeing and they're like, well, I could use this, I could use that. So,
And that
Miss
goes over
Lacey,
to our volunteers too, Janet.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
some phenomenal women who have said yes to the vision and the mission of I Am My Sister's Keeper. But doing some of our sister circles, some of our volunteers are triggered. Things that you think are gone, or things that you think, okay, well, have come back and say, Miss Lacy, I wish I had a program like this when I was a young girl. I wish. But you know what? You can still fix it now.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
beauty in it. It's like,
Mm.
and that's why I say we all learn from each other.
Yes, we
When
do.
our volunteers are critical to what we do. They come in so, and we are blessed. We have some of the most phenomenal volunteers that come in and want to give of themselves freely.
And that says a lot about you too, Miss Lacey. I mean, yes, the volunteers are wonderful, but as someone who has been a volunteer here and everywhere, a lot of times what motivates me is because of the person I'm serving under. It's like, oh yeah, they call Janet. I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do. Oh yeah, you need me to do that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just tell me.
Thank you.
So yeah, so yes, I mean yes, I mean because I see your volunteers, you and the volunteers, y'all be out there with the kids and your t-shirts and everything. I'm like, oh hey, yes, Miss Lacey, I'll be following you on social media.
We
So
following,
how can
okay.
people? Yes, yes, I do. So how people can connect with you, donate? Of course, you also and she's also an author too. So how can people really connect with you and really, in their own way donate? Or if they realize, you know what, we need this here, connect with you.
So they can go to our website, which is www. And you can see all of our chapters if you want to donate to another chapter or anything like that, or to the Wilmington chapter. You just go into chapters and see. If you want to be a volunteer, you just go in and fill in the application, and then our volunteer coordinator will reach out to you and tell you all of the paperwork that's needed, because everyone needs a background check to be a volunteer. And that's it. It's just as simple as that. If you want to donate, you can go on our website and donate, or you can do Cash App. We accept Cash App too, and it's purple MSK.
And of course, for those of you watching and listening, there will be a link directly to Mrs. Lacey's website again, so you can donate if you want to volunteer or if you just decide, you know what, we need something like this in our area. Well,
This is
Miss
true.
Lacey, thank you so much for your time. I had a wonderful time, and I'm so excited that
Thank
we
you.
had able to have this
Yeah,
conversation.
do I have a minute to tell you about the MSK Community Center?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So, like I said, I Am My Sister's Keeper has been in operation for 10 years. We have now our headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware, and it's called the MSK Community Center. We didn't have a place to call home. So we were kind of moving between the alternative school and some other different places. But God granted us this building, and we came in, man, and you just have to come and see the building. That's what I tell people. You just have to come and see the before and after. But what this has done has allowed us to be a beacon in the community. So this community center is for everyone, Janet, from toddlers to our precious seniors. We have something here for families. Families meet here at the MSK Community Center. Parents can come in for a class. They know their kids are safe upstairs, and either basketball. We've introduced pickleball. So we have two pickleball courts at the community center. Yes, it's one of the fastest growing sports that's
Yeah,
out there now. And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we are about, Janet, exposure and opportunities. We want our kids to know. We just opened up, it's a drone academy. So we want our kids to be able to learn how to use drones. We also are doing the virtual reality learning lab. So there's a lot. And as you said, we do have the Potter Anderson Literacy Lounge, where we're reintroducing books, the love of reading books. We have authors who come in who've just authored a book that can launch. We have kids that are reading. So we're excited about the MSK Community Center. And if you go on our website, just click on community and you will see the MSK Community Center. It has pink doors, but there's a lot going on behind those pink doors for everyone.
And I love it. I love it. And you're right. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes on. And, of course, go to her website, but I would also encourage you to just actually follow her on social media so that you can stay abreast of everything that goes on. And, of course, I'm going to push for you to donate too, because, that
Thank
would
you.
be you. Because you're just giving into not only what she wants to do and her mission and her values, but also the next generation. I'm all about the next generation. So, again,
Thank
Miss
you so
Lacey,
much.
thank you so much for your time. It has been wonderful to just have this conversation with you today.
Thank you, Janet.